Now, contestant, you have a very interesting hobby. Could you please elaborate for us?
Yes, Alex. I am a book lover. I love to read. I read all the time. All I do is read. Hello Bookworm family, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, I'm Danny. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell because I post lots of new content all the time. And if you're not already following me on Instagram, please be sure to do that. It is at _dancing_bookworm. I post on there full book reviews and bookish content. So today is the first month that we will be doing an official Bookardy game. Last month I did an extra 3 picks for my TBR for last month where I tried out Bookardy and explained the rules. I will link that video down below, but if you weren't there, I'll explain the rules right now since it is our first official month anyway. So this game is loosely based off of the game show Jeopardy! So what's going to happen is I'm going to roll a dice on my phone, and if I get a 1, I have to pick a silver card, a 2 is a blue card, 3 is a pink card, 4 is an orange card, 5 is a green card, and 6 is my choice. And then I have to pick a category as well, so sci-fi fantasy, contemporary realistic, mystery, historical, nonfiction memoir, or miscellaneous are my category choices. So if I roll a 1 and I pick a 1 miscellaneous, then obviously that card is gone for the game, so I wouldn't be able to pick it again. This helps me kind of switch up my TBR so I'm not reading all sci-fi fantasy in a month, and it gives me a little bit more variety. Under each of these cards is a prompt that I will have to follow, and if I roll the same number 3 times in one game, I have to have a black punishment card. The punishment cards range from everything from like dress as a character while you're reading the book, or double your entire TBR, to like switch up your entire TBR. So it can get crazy. So books that I have planned may not be the ones that I end up doing by the end of the video if I get one of these black cards. But we're gonna hope that I don't get any of the black cards. Before we get into the game, I am going to talk about the books that I had to read for last month. So I did 2 different rounds of TBR things that I had to do. The first round was my TBR raffle that I finished up doing last month, and my second round was a little mini Bookardy where I picked 3 extra books that I had to read for the month, same as my TBR raffle. I'm going to start with the books that I had for my mini Bookardy. So I had 3 books for here, and the first one that I had to read was The Parent Trap by Eric Kastner, and I did finish this book, and this was for the prompt of a Disney adapted. I had to read Out of the Wild Night by Blue Balliet, and this was for a cozy read, and I did finish that one. And I had to read Catching Fire by Suzanne Collins for the Chosen One prompt, and this one I am not done with yet, but I only have 100 pages left, so I will finish it by the time the month is over because there's still 3 days left in the month, so I am good to go. And then for my TBR raffle, I had 7 books that I had to pick, which was my standard pick that I have to do, and those books were Night Lights by Lorena Alvarez, and I did read that one. Ballet, and that was for the prompt to read a middle grade graphic novel. Then I had Ballet Shoes by Noelle Streatfeild, and that was to read a book that is related to work. I read Messenger by Lois Lowry, and that was a book with a 1-word title. I read Can Adults Become Human Too, which is a part of the Dear Dumb Diary collection by Jim Benton, and that was a newest purchase book. I read Girl Interrupted by Susanna Kaysen, which was a new adult book, and I read Magic Misfits by Neil Patrick Harris, which was for a book that had LGBTQ+ rep in it. I was supposed to read Sun by Lois Lowry, however, I kind of chose just not to read it and to pick an extra book this month during Bookardy. It's just not something that I was really interested in reading last month. It's kind of thick, and I had a lot of other thick books, and by the end of the month, I really just wanted to read some fun, shorter books, so I chose not to read it, so for Bookardy, I will have to pick 8 books. Now, I'm already planning on participating in another readathon this month, but just 1 this month instead of 2. I think I read a total of 20 books, maybe more, depending on how the next day goes for next month, or for the past month, which is great, but I don't think I have that in me for June, especially because things with work are going to start going back to a little bit normal, so I'm gonna have less time on my hands. So we're gonna try to keep it small. So I'm only doing one readathon this month, and it is part of my Facebook group Reading Rivalry, which I absolutely love being a part of. And every month you're put on a team where you have to compete based on page numbers that you read and stuff like that against other teams to see who comes out on top. This month their theme is going to be Pride and LGBTQ reads, which is awesome. I'm super excited for that. I love reading LGBTQ plus books, and I'm really, really excited to get into that. So a lot of the books that I'm going to try to read this month are LGBTQ plus based. However, not all of them have to be. So some of them are, some of them aren't, but I would personally like to read books along those lines just because I want to represent for Pride Month. But anyway, so the prompts for those and the books that I'm planning on reading already. The first prompt is to read a book with an author highlight, and one of the author highlighted this month is Suzanne Collins. So I will be finishing up reading the Hunger Games trilogy with Mockingjay by Suzanne Collins. And I want to finish this so I can read the prequel, which just came out, and that is The Ballad of Snakes and Songbirds, I think, or Songbirds and Snakes, one or the other. But this is the third book, and Katniss is taken to a mysterious district that they thought was destroyed, and she must do everything in her power to get back the loved ones that have gone missing in the process of basically escaping the capital. So that's what the third book's about, so I will be reading that one. The next book that I'm definitely going to be reading next month is The Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants by Anne Brashares, and this is for a summer read. I've wanted to read this book for a really long time and just have never gotten around to it, so I'm excited that it was part of a prompt that I could use this month, and I'm looking forward to reading it. This is about 4 girls who over the summer have discovered that they're all going their separate ways, and they've never been apart for an entire summer before, so they're really upset. When they go to a clothing store to try on some clothes for their various things that they're going to go do, they find a pair of jeans that fit all of them. So they decide that throughout the summer they're going to ship the jeans back and forth to each other with letters to kind of keep them updated about their journeys over the summer. So I am looking forward to reading that one. The next one that I'm going to be reading is one that I don't have, and it is Ivy Aberdeen's Letters to the World by Ashley Herring Blake, and this is for a #own voices read. I wanted a book that represented a lesbian character because I feel like that connects to my own voice, so I will be reading that one. It is about a girl who, after a tornado, her life is kind of stressed out and falling apart, and she's realizing she has feelings for a girl for the first time. I did read Girl Made of Stars by Ashley Herring Blake last year and absolutely loved it, and it was a 5-star read, so I have high hopes for this one as well. The next one that I'm definitely going to be reading is, the prompt is to read a book by a non-binary author or that features a non-binary or trans character, and this is Pet by Awaki Emezi. I can't say that name, I'm so sorry, but they are a non-binary author. This is about, I believe, a girl who believes that there's no monster, but then she runs into this monster, and it says, Pet has come to hunt a monster, and the shadow of something grim lurks in Redemption's house. Jam must fight not only to protect her best friend, but also uncover the truth and answer the question, how do you save the world from a monster if no one will admit they exist? So I did find out about this book from Bowties in Books, but they talked about this book and gave it very high praise, so I am excited to read it because I do trust their opinion. The next book that I'm definitely going to be reading is a book that reminds me of a video game, and I will be reading Bleeding Earth by Caitlin Ward, and this is about a girl who is just starting her first summer romance with her girlfriend and is really looking forward to spending time with her. However, the world suddenly starts bleeding out of cemeteries and nobody knows why, and it's kind of like a dystopian book. I did find this on the clearance rack of Barnes & Noble, and it's just been kind of sitting on my shelf, so it did sound kind of video gamey to me, so I thought it would work out well. So the next prompt is to read a book with the pride flag colors on the cover, and for that prompt I will be reading The Art of Being Normal by Lisa Williamson, and this is about a boy who is his parents are always questioning him, like they think he's gay, the bully thinks he's a freak, nobody really understands him, except his best friends discovered that he would actually like to become a woman, and it's about their journey to find a way to give her that transition that she is desiring. So I am excited to read that one. I don't actually currently own that one, just like I don't currently own Ivy Aberdeen's Letters to the World, but I am looking forward to buying them and adding them to my LGBTQ section of my shelf, because that is very, very underwhelming right now and I need more books. So not that I need more books, but I do need more rep books, so I am excited to get that. The next book that I am definitely going to be reading this month is a book that I have on ebook already, and it is The Prompt of First Love. Now, I'm not really interested in reading first love books right now, so I am going to be reading a book that has a mild undertone of first love, and that is I Am Alfonso Jones, and that is by Tony Medina, and it is about a girl whose boyfriend is shot because the cop thinks that the coat hanger in his pocket is a gun, even though it is not. He is shot, and it is also about him looking down from his afterlife, kind of bonding with these other people who were killed before their time due to racism. Now, it does talk about the girl's perspective and his perspective and how they secretly loved each other, but neither of them were able to tell each other their true feelings before the incident happened. So that is a graphic novel as well, and I downloaded that last month. It sounded really good, and I just haven't gotten around to reading it, so I'm excited that I can actually put it in my TBR for this month. The next one that I am definitely going to be reading is a book with a complicated family relationship, and I will be reading Emancipated by M.G. Reyes. This book I had found at the dollar store, and I found it maybe 2 years ago and have never read it, but it's basically about a group of kids who get emancipated from their parents, so I'm assuming that they have a pretty complicated relationship with their families. However, not everything is as it seems, and a lot of them are lying to each other about the situations that they're in. This book is also the lowest rated on my Goodreads TBR, so I don't have high expectations for it, but it's been on my shelf for so long, I just want to get it out of the way, read it, and find out what happens. So the next book that I'm going to be reading is a book that the author actually reached out to me to read, and it also fits one of the prompts for my Reading Rivalry, and that is to read a book with a character who forges their own path, and I will be reading The Legendary Shiver by J.H. McHale. Now, the author did reach out to me and asked me to read this book because it was published during quarantine and he wasn't able to do the book promotions as he would have liked, so he did ask me to reach out, review, and I will be giving it an honest review, and I did tell him that ahead of time, but I am looking forward to reading it. Basically, it is about a boy and a girl. The boy has feelings for the girl, but the girl is busy making her own way in the music industry, and she just doesn't have time for anything, and she's dealing with the stresses of the music industry already as is. It definitely sounds like it has a Daisy Jones and the Six vibe to it, which was one of my favorite reads of last year, so I am looking forward to reading it. So hopefully I will love it and I can give it a great review, but I have never read anything by this author before, but I am so glad that he reached out to me, and thank you so much, J.H. McHale, for doing so. And then the last book that I plan on reading next month already, before we even get into Bookardy, I can't believe how long this section alone has taken, because oh my gosh, I'm already overwhelmed by how many books are in front of me, but I will be reading a book that was based solely off the cover, and I will be reading The Black Book of Secrets by Effie Higgins. This book, until I just picked it up because I looked at the cover to see if it was one that I wanted to use for the prompt, I didn't know what it was about. I just had it on my shelf because of the beautiful black sprayed edges and the gorgeous looking, creepy, medievally cover. But this is about a boy who runs away from his family, moves to a town where he is taken as an apprentice to somebody whose sole job is to trade secrets for other things. People give them his deepest, darkest secrets, and the boy must keep track and write them down. But he doesn't realize that his secret might be the most deepest and darkest that the man has ever heard. So it does sound very interesting, and it was definitely solely based on the cover because I love how black it is all over. It's just beautiful. Alright, so without further ado, we're going to get into the actual Bookardy portion of this. So my goal is to fit some of those books into the prompts for Bookardy. So cross our fingers that we can do that, because I don't think I can handle another month of 20 books. But we'll see. We'll see how nice Bookardy is. It might double my reads. I also have to pick 8 Bookardy prompts because I did not finish Sun. So normally I would pick 7, but I have to pick 8 because I did not finish one of those books last month. So such is life. but hopefully I can make those 8 turn into those books over there. So let's pull up our dice and we're going to start with the rolls. I really don't want to get a black card this month because I just don't think I'm going to be able to handle a black card this month. So let's see. We have a 3. So a 3 is a pink card. So I think I'm going to start off with a pink contemporary realistic. So, and that is a book in memory of my dad. So this is a book that I feel like my dad would have enjoyed if he ever liked books, which my dad did not like books, so you know. But it's also a book that maybe was taken place in the time period he was growing up or has a theme of something that he enjoyed. So I'm going to go look for one of these because I don't think any of the books that I have would really fit anything my dad cared about, so. Okay, sorry if the camera angle changed, but I definitely knocked over my camera when I went to find a book, so it may have changed. But for the In Memory of My Dad Contemporary Realistic prompt, I am going to be reading Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close by Jonathan Safran Foer. This is a book about a boy whose father passes away on September 11th, 2001 in the World Trade Centers. Now, I'm going to be reading this book because I wanted something a little bit more sentimental, as June will be the first month that I have to spend a Father's Day without my dad. So I'm already expecting it to be kind of an emotional month for me. So I wanted something that I could just lean into all the feels. This is about a little boy who loses his father on 9/11, and he ends up finding a key, and he goes through all 5 boroughs of New York City to try to figure out what the key goes to unlock whatever it is his dad had left for him. So I am interested to read this. It is really tiny print though, which stresses me out because you guys know I hate tiny print. So I am hoping I can find it on an audiobook. I'm probably going to have a rough month next month. I'm already prepared for it, so I just wanted something I could lean into the feels. So we're going to start with the next roll. Oh, crud, my dice turned off. It took me that long to find a book that my dice turned itself off. So let's roll again. And we have a 6. So 6 is my choice. So I think I'm going to go sci-fi fantasy. And I'm going to go with a pink sci-fi fantasy. The colors don't actually mean anything, just, you know. So we have a sci-fi fantasy reread. Perfect. I know what I can use for this. One that I'm already going to be reading, and that is Mockingjay by Suzanne Collins. So I don't even have to go look for a book. It's right here. Perfect. All right, let's roll again. So we have a 5. So 5 is green, and I think I'm going to go... I want another sci-fi fantasy. I know, I'm such a sci-fi fantasy person, but we're going to go with the sci-fi fantasy again. Okay, so we have random number generator. So what I'm going to do, again, sorry if the angle changed. I knocked my camera over again. But what I was going to say is I have my binder here, and in here I have an entire bookshelf database. So with this bookshelf database, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask Siri to pick a random number between 1 and 314, which is how many books I have, and they're all listed. You guys can see they're all listed by number. And what I'm going to do is Siri's going to pick a number, and then I'm going to pick the closest sci-fi fantasy to that. Now, in future videos, I'm hoping to have separate lists for all of the genres that are listed, but I just haven't had time to do that yet, so that's just how we're going to do random number generator for right now. So let's ask Siri to pick a random number. Pick a number between 1 and 314.
It's 125.
So we have, I don't know if you guys can see it, but we have 125. Oh, I'm already on that page. So 125 is Out of the Wild Night by Blue Balliet, which I literally just read last month. So we're going to look and see what the next closest sci-fi fantasy is. And it actually works out perfectly because 127 is Bleeding Earth. And that is a sci-fi that I am reading for next month. So works out perfectly. I already planned on reading this. Hallelujah. Something worked in my favor. Yay. All right, so let's roll the dice, and I'm pretty sure the dice just reset itself, so now I'm scared because that means I could get the same number multiple times. All right, so it has picked the number 6, which I have already had the number 6, of course. So that is a double number, and I only get one more 6 before I have to pick a black card. And I don't want to pick a black card because this will only be my 4th pick, and I still have 4 more picks to go. So I'm going to go... Silver miscellaneous. That means I get to kind of pick whatever genre I want. So we're going to go silver miscellaneous. Perfect. A short read. That's what I needed. Thank you, BOOKARDY. I needed a short read. So the book I picked for miscellaneous, which means I can pick any genre I want, short read, is going to be For Everyone by Jason Reynolds. To me, a short read is under 150 pages, and this book is only 101 pages. But basically, this is a poem-based book that is just kind of an inspiration for everybody, like making everybody feel included and everybody feeling wanted. I am very looking forward to reading this book. So let's do our next roll. We have a 3. Did I have a 3 already? I feel like I've had a 3. Did I have a 3? Yeah, I had a 3. Okay, so if I get a 6 or a 3 again, I have to draw a black card. I really don't want a black card. So this will be my 5th pick though. So let's see. 3 is pink, and I'm going to go historical, I think. So we have an ebook. So I think what I'm going to do for this one, because it's already going to be on ebook and it does have historical elements to it, is I'm going to read I Am Alfonso Jones. I forgot who wrote it already. I will write the name right here. Sorry. But since I'm already planning on reading it for next month, and it does talk about important people in history who were killed based on their race, it is a very important part of historical elements. So that is going to be the one that I read for that prompt. So let's roll the next one. We have a 2. I don't think I've had a 2 yet, so this is good. So 2 is blue, and we're going to go blue. We're going to go historical again. Oh, perfect. LGBTQ plus rep, and it is historical. So do I have a historical one over in this pile yet, or no? I don't think I do. I don't think any of these are considered historical. So give me 1 minute and I will find one. Okay, so for LGBTQ plus rep and historical, I am going to pick another one that I don't actually have on my shelf, but it's one that I've been wanting to buy. It's on my to buy list, so I'm going to get it. And it is The Prince and the Dressmaker by Jen Wang. And this is about a prince who enjoys wearing dresses and the seamstress who makes them for him. So I don't know a whole much beyond that, but I just know that when I heard people talk about the book, it sounded really good, so I'm going to do that one. So let's do our next roll. I have to pull up my dice again because I had to look up a book. All right. Anything but a 3 and a 6. Another 2. Okay. Oh gosh. We're getting in dangerous territory here. All right. So this will be my 7th book. So this would have been my last roll had I finished all my TBR books. But right now we have to do another blue, and we're going to go to contemporary realistic, I think. So it's a color generator, so I have to find a color wheel, I will spin it, and then whatever color pops up will be the one that I have to find a cover that matches, and it has to be contemporary realistic. So let's hope this will work for one of my prompts over there, but I don't know. Okay, so I just found a random generator online, so let's see. We're going to hit generate color, and it has picked pink. So I don't have any pink books over here, I don't think. Nope, of course I have a purple, I don't have a pink. So I'm going to go find a pink book. Okay, so for random color generator, the prompt of pink came up. So I will be reading The Elegant Gathering of White Snows by Chris Radish. This is about a bunch of women who decide that they are sick with their average lives and they just start walking down a rural highway together. They just keep walking until something happens, kind of like when Forrest Gump just starts running kind of thing. But it attracts the nation's attention. They want to know why they're doing it, but the women are hesitant to give answers to what is really going on in their lives. So this book has only been on my shelf for a little bit, and it does sound interesting. I don't know if it's necessarily a book that I would have wanted to read for this month, but hey, let's just do it. You know, it's pink, and I think it's the only pink one on my shelf, so we're gonna do it. All right, we are finally on our last roll, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, this will be roll number 8. So let's hope I don't get a 3 or a 6 or a 2, because otherwise I have to pick black card. And I'm not mentally prepared for a black card, so not a 3, not a 6, not a 2. Okay. Whew. Oh, 5, right? I didn't have any more 5s. right? I only had one 5. What was 5? Yeah, 5 is green. Okay. Whew. Got nervous there for a second. So 5 is green. So we are going to go green contemporary realistic. I'm on a contemporary realistic binge this month, I guess. So a library book. So because libraries are still technically closed right now, I don't have any library books with me, but I can download library books to my Kindle, and I actually think our library is opening for pickup. So give me a minute to see what I can find in library format. Okay, so for a library book, contemporary realistic, I'm going to be reading Kings, Queens, and In-Betweens by Tanya Boteju? I don't know how to say it. Boteju. But this is about a girl, I believe. It says Judy Blume meets RuPaul's Drag Race. And it's about Nima, who is bored with her insular community of Bridgeton, in love with her straight girlfriend, and trying to move past her mother's unexpected departure. But she ends up being immersed suddenly into the drag scene on the other side of town. So that sounds really good. I actually just saw a drag show for the first time last year, I think, and I absolutely loved it, and have been binging RuPaul's Drag Race ever since. So I'm excited to read about it. But I've actually been to a couple now since I've been to that one, but they're exciting. They're fun. I love the dancing. Love the dancing. So here's the small stack of what I'll be reading for the month of June. Add 3 ebooks for that, and that's what you have for my BOOKARDY picks. But then on top of that, we also have to add this stack plus the 3 ebooks, plus I think 2 more ebooks on top of this. Or maybe just 1 more ebook after everything. But still, it's a pretty big stack. Again, I'm going to have a giant reading month, but you know, don't I always end up with a giant reading month? I even said this month that I wasn't going to do a readathon, and then they said that they were doing a Pride readathon, and I had to, so. But I'm officially roasting now. My air conditioner has been off for an hour while I've been making this video, and I officially need to cool my room down. So I'm going to go get a snack and turn my air on, and I guess start making room on my shelves for this TBR, because whew, it's a big one. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys are fully enjoying the new game that I am playing of BOOKARDY. If you have any suggestions or comments for prompts, leave them down below so I know what you guys want to see. And thank you so much for watching. Bye!
Wasn't that a great video? Clearly books make me very happy. Now you can make me happy too. Click the subscribe button to follow my channel. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you think I did good. And the notification bell will let you know when I post new content. Also, follow my Instagram for more book shenanigans.